Hi everyone, I'm Luke Hopper, broadcasting live from Point Blank Music School in East London. Welcome to the Academy of Electronic Music, brought to you by Google, Armada Music, DJ Mag and Point Blank. So the Academy has brought us all together to find the world's best undiscovered producers. This is a chance for you to learn tips and techniques from major artists, industry figures and the world's leading music production school. And to prove we mean it when we say major artists, today's very special guest is none other than Armin Van Buuren, who's going to be joining us a little bit later on in the Hangout, so make sure you stay tuned. First up, a bit of background on the Academy. Back in September, we asked you to send in your tracks to see who would get the most votes and advance to the next round of the talent search. As you can see from the website, there have been over 1,000 entries, and you can check out all this great new music at academyofelectronicmusic.com. As you can see, the standard has been extremely high, but 7 lucky winners have broken through. They've each won places on Point Blank's groundbreaking electronic music composition course, which starts today and which all of you can share in at home via these Hangouts. At the end of the course, the 7 winners' tracks are going to be officially released by Armada. A pretty amazing prize, and starting today, we are inviting you guys to join us in a series of Hangouts designed to give you exclusive access to the progression of the 7 winners as they continue through their EMC course, and you'll be able to learn alongside the winners too. These special Hangouts will feature top artists and leading lights from the music industry, like Armin Van Buuren, who's going to be joining us very shortly, all sharing their knowledge and experience with you guys. It's an amazing opportunity to improve your skills, get insights into the music industry too. You can also upgrade your skills by checking out Point Blank's YouTube channel at youtube.com/pointblankonline. Take a look at the thousands of quality free tutorials and other content like interviews and festival reports. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. So, and now it's time to meet the 7 winners. We're going to first of all play you a quick video clip featuring all of the tracks and all of the guys, and then we're going to meet the people behind the music.
This is the Academy of Electronic Music. After 34,000 votes and 1,200 track submissions, here are the 7 winners. Aaron Mars. Adoriani featuring Nicolette. Gabriel Lovato featuring Edwin. Picarlo. Ramin Vincent. Ryan Signet. Flez. Follow all 7 at the academyofelectronicmusic.com. Find your beats.
So, Aaron, tell us a little bit about yourself and the track that you put together for the Academy.
Well, my name is Aaron Diaz, and I'm 24 years old. I'm also a musician. I play the bass guitar and also the acoustic guitar. But since very teenager, I love producing music, especially house music with a little bit of trance and all this movement of electronic music. So about the track that I created, I remember that I saw first in the Armada, the Armada Facebook. And I just wanted to come up with just such a banger, I said I want to come up with the greatest track I could ever come. So I was trying hard and hard in my computer and with my guitar and melodies in my head, but I couldn't come with anything special. So I went back to bed that night, and in my dreams I just hear a melody, and I woke up immediately and I just had the melody in my head still. So I just grabbed my cell phone and started singing the melody and just recorded it. And the following day, I just tried to put it into the Logic Pro, and and started producing a track right there.
It's a great track, Aaron. So many thanks for taking part. Next up, we've got the first duo of the competition. We have Adrian and Vlad as well. Adrian, tell us a bit about the track that you guys put together for the Academy.
Hi guys, my name is Adrian Miller and I'm from Moldova. So together with my brother Vlad, we are Adoriani. Well, about the track, we began the work for the desert during this summer. As the lyrics were done, the melody came along. We started the recordings, and the fun fact is that when we did the recordings for the song, it was really hot in the studio, so the desert was at home. We also believe that the song is full of energy and passion.
Okay, cool, Vlad. Adrian, many thanks for submitting your track. Let's get over to Gabriel and Edwan. How you doing, guys? Tell us a little bit about your track.
Hey everybody. Yes, I met Rafael, also known as Edwan, December last year through a friend of ours. He told us that we should definitely get together and collaborate and make a track. When we had our first conversation through Skype, we already know that we could be a great duo together. And then we started out with our track Kaulo, and our goal was to combine Edwan's commercial dance style and my progressive and electronic house style. And I think we really accomplished our goal by getting those styles together, and I hope you will enjoy Kaulo, our track.
Definitely. Thanks, Gabriel. It was a great track. Let's talk to Jonathan as well. So, Jonathan, tell us a bit about yourself and your track as well.
Hi everyone, my name is Jonathan Perez. I'm 19 years old. Well, my track was made 2 days before the contest beginning. I tried to mix the progressive house and electric house with a melody full of energy and a huge drop, and that's what my track was called Madness, and that's it, Madness. Mixing the whole two styles. That's it.
Thanks, Jonathan. So next up we have Carolis. Hey man, how you doing? Tell us about your track.
Hi guys, it's Carlos here. About my track, I would say I just made it for a kind of, minimal trancey sound, for a kind of different feel to it, and I put some local vocals into it, so it sounds mysterious and something, and I called it Was All a Dream. So it fits the moment right now where I am with this academy, and everything. So it was a nice track to start with, and I hope, I'm glad you liked it.
Cool, thanks man. And so next up we have Ramon. So Ramon, tell us a little bit about yourself and the kind of producers that influence you.
Okay, hey there. I'm Ramon Vincent, 17 years old and came from Germany. The track Result Tomorrow is the idea he started 1 year ago. The idea was to put some soft strings, pads and synths in a hard progressive trance track, and I construct the massive lead sound that comes up in the intro and the outro, or like and I put some hard basses in it and built the crit break. This is how it began.
Cool, thanks Ramon. So last but definitely not least, we have Ryan. Ryan, please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about the track you put together.
Thanks guys. Yeah, my name's Ryan Signet. I'm based in the UK, near Manchester. I'm an uplifting trance artist. The track itself, well, funny enough, I got engaged to my fiance in Egypt not so long back, and basically I came back from obviously that experience and tried to bring all the emotion and stuff that I felt from that. And I think within the space of a week I had the track literally down and everything was happy with it. So yeah, I just want to devote that track to my new fiance. So yeah, I'm very excited with this, the opportunity that you guys are giving us, and obviously speaking to the legend that is Armin next. Well,
wicked. Well, thanks, Ryan.
Can I just say, I think one of you guys might have a speaker on in the background, because we can hear some background noise going on. I don't know if it's you, Carolis, and you're in the internet cafe or something, but could you just make sure that that's turned off, please?
I think that's it there.
I think that's it. I think we got it. Yeah. Okay.
So thanks, guys. We're going to come back to you in just a sec. So now we've met all the winners. Let's connect with the man himself. Armin Van Buuren. Armin, are you with us? Can you hear us, Armin?
Good evening.
Hello, how are you doing?
How's it going?
Oh my god.
Hey. How are you doing, Armin?
Very well. How are you guys?
Yeah, great.
Great. You're doing great, Armin.
So,
welcome to my studio.
Nice.
Thanks for inviting us in, Armin.
Great.
Thanks so much for taking the time to hang out with us today. We've obviously got the 7 very eager competition winners who are all dying to ask you some questions. So if it's cool with you, we'll dive straight in. First up, we've got Aaron. Aaron, what's your question for Armin?
Oh, well, I had 3 questions for you, Armin, but I had to choose for one. And the question that I have for you is, what do you do when you get stuck creating a melody, you know? That happened to me a lot, so I would like to know from your point of view, you know.
Well, it's really hard to answer your question.
Okay.
Because I never start in the same way, you know. Sometimes I start with an 8-bar loop or a 16-bar loop. Sometimes I just start with a, you know, some old drum machine, or maybe I will use FL Studio. Some people think, are you crazy working with FL Studio? But yes, I work with everything that inspires me. So my main DAW is Logic Pro and Ableton.
Mine too.
But recently I really got into FL Studio as well. I'm even looking into Studio One. I have Pro Tools installed. I have 2 DAWs here, so I can work with whatever I want. I think I want to stress the most. What inspires me is usually listening to other people's music. You know, it doesn't sound that exciting maybe, but this is the most honest answer. Yeah, I usually get ideas listening to other tracks, and if I hear a track that I go like, wow, you know, this is an amazing track, then it usually inspires me to make a track that is similar but not copying, you know?
Thanks, Armin. Aaron, I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, for sure, that helped me a lot, Armin. Thank you so much.
Great to hear it, man. And so up next we've got Adrian. Adrian, what's your question for Armin?
Hi, Armin. Nice to meet you finally.
Hi.
I was wondering, what are the essential steps that are to be taken for a DJ or a producer for their promotion nowadays?
I'm sorry, can you repeat your question, please? I didn't hear it.
I was wondering, what are the essential steps that are to be taken for a DJ or a producer for their promotion nowadays?
I think it's maybe a vague answer, but I think your quickest way to the top, if you want to be successful, in my opinion, is to do something that hasn't been done before. You know, and you can think of it really this wide. I cannot narrow it down to one specific thing. You know, how are you going to stand out from all the other guys that are online right now, and so many people that are listening and watching right now? I know this is very difficult, but ask yourself, you know, do I want to be a second DJ such and such, or do I want to be myself? Do I want to create my own brand, my own sound? And of course, everybody looks at each other, and this is normal, but I think it's really important that you find your own way. And a lot of people get turned off, you know, within a year or 2 years. But I started producing in 1992. And it took me 5 years to make even one decent record. You know what I mean? So for me, it was a long way going up. So it's really important to find your own sound, see what you like about other styles, and carefully make a plan for yourself, maybe even on paper. Which sound do I want to represent? What kind of a DJ do I want to be? And how do I think the sound of EDM or the kind of music that I want to make is going to progress? Do I want to be successful? Do I want to be high in the DJ Mag chart? Do I want to be selling a lot of records? Or do I just want to make music that is purely for me? So I think that's also a question you have to ask yourself. You know, I never told myself that I wanted to be DJ Mag winner, because there was no DJ Mag when I started producing. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I think that's excellent advice. So yeah, up next we've got Gabriel and Edwan. Hi guys, what's your question for Armin?
Hey Armin, it's very nice to meet you. And at first, at first I would like to thank you for your great set at Amsterdam Music Festival last Saturday. Me and Edwan were there and it was truly amazing, so thank you for that. And as a duo, we also, thought of a question, which Edwan is going to ask you now.
Yeah, so who were your biggest inspirations?
Well, it sounds pretty funny, but it could be you.
I really like that answer. Thank you.
Every week I receive, I think, over 1,000 promos, and a lot of people think that other people make my radio show. This is not true. I make my own radio show, and I listen to all the new music myself, you know, and sometimes I listen to a track that's made by a guy that's 17 years old. So, of course, my biggest inspirations were Jean-Michel Jarre, Ben Liebrand. You know, if you want to hear a few, but every week when I produce something here in the studio, I listen to other people's music, and that's what inspires me. So it can be you. You know, maybe next week I will hear a track from you. For me, it's not so much the name. You know, if it's like a big name or maybe an up and coming. I try to close my eyes. You know, like Vrouw Justitia, weet je weer? Like the, you know, in court, I try to close my eyes and not look at the name when I listen to tracks, because you always like, if you see like, oh, Armin Van Buuren, or oh, Hardwell, or you know, Ferry Corsten, you listen differently to the track because you know it's made by somebody that has a name. But I think what's better to do is listen to all the tracks, not look at the name, not look at the label, completely blank. Listen, do I like this track? And then you will be surprised about which tracks you like and which you don't.
That's a great idea. Thank you. Thanks a lot for your time and for your great answers.
Thanks, guys. So, up next we've got Jonathan. Hey, Jonathan, what's your question for Armin?
Hi, Armin. This is my question. What was the song that you like most in your productions, or what has been the song that represents something most in your career in a matter of feelings, or one you wanted to express in it?
Oh, that's the most difficult question. You know, I mean, it's like asking a father what his favorite child is. You know.
I know. Sorry.
You know, every track, no matter how big or how small, has a big story behind it. I mean, I worked 2.5 years on my last album, and every track has a personal meaning. I mean, otherwise I wouldn't put it on the album. For example, small tracks like Astronauts on my first album. You know, those little tracks that usually go unnoticed, or Lost Stop Before Heaven, usually are my favorites. But if I really have to mention a couple of tracks that are like important for my career, you know, Blue Fear helped a lot. Communication was my first hit in the UK, really, you know, helped me. Yet Another Day, Burned with Desire. But those are like the obvious tracks. But for me, it's like, it's really difficult to answer. And you will notice when you have made a few tracks, you know, if you don't, sometimes I really get sick of my own music because I hear it so many times. And then when I hear it a year later, I'm like, oh, yeah, it's okay. I'm never 100% satisfied, never.
Okay, thanks, Armin.
Thanks.
So, up next, Carolis. What's your question for Armin?
Hi, Armin. Just wondering, you know, when you produce now and you hit a brick wall, right?
Yeah.
And you left like loads of unfinished projects. Is there any like tips that you use for, you know, like for your own to finish the projects, you know, to continue on the process of your tracks, like?
Well, I hit the brick wall several times, so I know the feeling. It's a fucked up feeling that we all get to deal with. Excuse my language, but it's really a nasty feeling. It's because you're sitting in your studio, you have all this equipment, you have all these tracks, you have all these great kick drums, you have all these amazing bass lines, you bought 900 silent presets and 4,000 massive presets, and still you don't have ideas. You know? Here's what you do. First of all, you buy a PlayStation. Go PlayStation for 1 hour. Nicely, you have to do it, okay? You go play PlayStation for an hour, right? Then you're gonna make yourself a really nice sandwich. Give your girlfriend or your mom or whoever it is, give her a big kiss.
The girlfriend.
And go in the studio, back in the studio, and delete everything you just created or save it. Start with a blank screen and make something that you want to make, not something that you think you should make. Make fun, you know. The most important thing, and I cannot stress this enough, the most important thing to do in the studio is have fun. If you're not having fun, get out of the studio.
That's amazing advice.
If you're not having fun, get out of the studio. You should be making fun. Of course, there's some technical sides to it, and sometimes, you know, you have to have a deadline, you need to finish something, but the most important thing is do something that you like. And if you're not liking what you're doing, maybe try a different sequence, buy some new sounds, go online, try, start listening to some music. Go on Digitally Important and listen to a random radio show. Try to spark yourself, because if you don't like the track that you're working on, it's very likely that no one else will like it as well. So you have to have fun in the studio, and if you're like in the studio like that and you're really into it, then you're doing a good thing, and then the track will create itself. So again, if you're really hitting that brick wall, get out of the studio as soon as you can, because you're not going to turn it around.
Excellent advice.
Fantastic.
Most definitely. So up next, Ramon. How you doing, man? What's your question for Armin?
Yeah, hi Armin. Nice to meet you. My question for you is, I can't find any embarrassing things about you on gigs or in your private life. What is your most embarrassing thing in your career?
Embarrassing?
Yeah.
Oh,
Here we go.
I have a big list. Well, first of all, the most embarrassing thing I've ever done was when I ejected the wrong CD player. And the problem with CDs is, when it ejects, you need to put it in. It takes 10 seconds to load, to reach table contents, and to go to your track. So yeah, that was probably the most embarrassing thing. I've done a lot of embarrassing things. Trust me, I do love a beer sometimes, and. You know what I did? Recently I did something really stupid. I'm not going to mention the name of the artist because that makes me look really stupid. But I did something really embarrassing lately. I got a track from a vocalist, a female, and I told her that I was going to let her know that I like it or not. And I thought I sent an email to my manager saying, I'm not too sure about this track. What do you think? And instead of replying to my manager, I replied it to her.
That's quite a bit.
It's one of those moments.
Oh God.
When you get the sent email, you go like.
Oh man!
Thanks, Armin.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for your answer, and I hope I can see you soon backstage on a big event.
Keep producing.
Yeah.
Okay. Last question we've got from Ryan. How you doing, man? What's your question for Armin?
Hey Armin, how you doing? Finally, a great pleasure to actually meet the legend that is Armin Van Buuren. Congratulations on the New Horizons tour. Some really exciting stuff coming up for them. And I just want to personally thank you for setting up the Who's Afraid of 138 label. As me as an uplifting trance artist, that's a great thing to be hearing for obviously Armada are doing. Which brings me to my question. I'll give it a knuckle. There you go. My question relates to that. With the trance chart becoming very diluted with the music that people call trance music, who in your eyes is keeping uplifting trance alive at the moment?
It's a long discussion about what is uplifting, what is not uplifting. Sometimes I miss the days where you could just play everything from, Sander Kleinenberg to John O'Callaghan to Chicane to Lucian Ford, Scott Bond, James Holden, Gabriel Andresen, and everything in one set, and everything would be called trance. And right now, what we call trance it's becoming narrower and narrower, and the following is becoming more aggressive in that sense. It's a very. Sometimes I call trance what other people don't, and sometimes it's the other way around. So I don't know. I think what you should always ask yourself, and this is something my dad told me, is that as long as you are happy with what you are creating, as long as you are feeling that it's uplifting, then that's the definite. Nobody's written in a dictionary what uplifting is it?
Yeah, that's true.
And the whole 138 thing, it started out as a little joke in my radio show, and now it's become a serious thing. I think you get the point behind Who's Afraid of 138. It's not so much about the BPM, it's about the pure sound of trance. But I think what I think is most important is that this music keeps developing, and that new ideas get added to every genre all the time. If you look at the history of music, for example, I know this may sound strange to bring up, but if you listen to the first Beatles album and then you listen to the last Beatles album,
Yeah.
right, it's still the Beatles, but there's a huge difference. For example, the way you make music in the 60s is almost the opposite of the way you make music in the 70s. The first Beatles album was completely mono. The last Beatles album was recorded in stereo and using a 16-track tape or 24-track or whatever. So my point is that music keeps growing, and it's something I cannot change. It's something that nobody can change. It just evolves, you know. And as much as I love uplifting, and my heart is with trance, I think I've proven that over the years. I love to see pure instrumental music, emotional, uplifting music, but I love to see it progress. And that's what's happening now with 138, and I'm very proud of it. But I cannot tell you what elements are always there in an uplifting record, you know. Sometimes I like, I remember the old Mauro Picotto days, you know. He had some really nasty sounding records on BXR, which now would be labeled as techno, but you could play them in a trance set easily back in 2002, 2001. And now people would say you'd be playing a techno set. So, you know, for me it's so difficult to give you an answer about labels because everybody seems to have a different definition of it. I think as long as it sounds right, if it feels uplifting to you, and if it, you know, if it feels melodic to you, I guess then for me you are on the right way. But there's no right and wrong, you know, it's music. So if you think it's wrong, it's probably wrong for a lot of other people too. If you think it's right for you and maybe for a few other people as well. So I have to give you a little bit vague answer like this.
No worries, no worries.
I wish I had a glass bowl that I can predict the future. I know. The only thing I know is that this sound will stay, and the only thing I know is that I will keep supporting it, even though it's not the most popular sound right now. I will keep supporting it because it's closest to my heart.
Well, that's good enough for me, definitely.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Armin. Thank you to all the guys as well for asking your questions. I hope Armin, you know, answered you all. So yeah, Armin, you know, thanks so much for taking the time out to talk to us today. You know, your feedback's been amazing for all involved. Hopefully we're going to get to catch you throughout the Academy in the next few weeks, and we'll let you get back to your schedule. Thanks very much, Armin.
And thank you, and I want to wish everybody a lot of luck in your studio. Sometimes it can be very frustrating because I speak to a lot of producers all the time, and sometimes you will hit the brick wall, but trust me, as long as you keep dreaming and keep believing in your own sound and in your own things, you will make it. Just be patient, work hard. I mean, it took me, 5 years to make a record and 20 years to make a decent one. So, you know, I think it's important that you just keep believing in it. And don't make music to be successful. Make music because you want to make music and because you believe in your sound. And if you can please yourself, that's probably the first very big step.
Amazing advice. Thank you, Armin.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
We'll speak to you soon.
Thank you, Armin. Bye. See you soon.
So that was Armin Van Buuren. A huge privilege to meet him in the Hangout, and a great way to kick off the Academy program. I hope all the guys enjoyed chatting with the man himself. Now I'm going to introduce you to the tutor who will be taking the 7 winners and yourselves at home over the next 4 weeks. It's Point Blank's very own Ski Oakenfold.
Hi, thanks, Luke.
No problem.
As Luke said, I'm the one who will be putting the 7 winners and you at home through your paces on the Electronic Music Composition course via this series of exclusive Hangouts. We're going to look at all those unfinished ideas on your hard drive and see if we can help you to complete them. This course deconstructs classic and cutting-edge tunes to show you the techniques used by the artists and producers who made them so that you can implement them in your own tracks. We'll be joined by some of the world's biggest artists, like Armin, who will be stopping by to give you their first-hand advice, which is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for all of us. We'll be setting you tasks and assignments so you can improve your skills at home at the same time as the winners. So I look forward to hanging out with you and some major artists too. See you in the first session.
Thank you, Ski. So yeah, that's about the end of our introductory session today. You know, we can't wait to get involved in the course itself and get cracking with the very first session tomorrow, Tuesday at 3 p.m. UK time. The full details of this will follow shortly. And thanks very, very much to the man himself, Armin Van Buuren, for spending the time with us in the Hangout today. And of course to all the 7 winners for taking part. And for you guys watching at home, thank you all guys for getting involved. Make sure you keep locked and we'll see you tomorrow for the very first session at 3 p.m. In the meantime, don't forget you can help yourself to loads of free tutorials at Point Blank's YouTube channel. And don't forget to subscribe to keep up to date with all of our latest free content. Thank you for watching and we'll see you tomorrow at 3. Bye-bye.